Love makes the world go round, and though it may not seem obvious, what's even better is falling in love and finding that special someone. And while we're told to hold on to it tightly and fight for it, I've invited a relationship expert and author, Dr. Carmen Harra, to share 6 signs of being in a toxic relationship. Hey, Dr. Harra, how are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm great.
We're always glad to have you on. Okay, let's talk a little bit about being in a toxic relationship. As we mentioned, we want to hold on to our loved ones and fight for that relationship, but sometimes it may be worth letting go. Let's talk about what a toxic relationship is.
A toxic relationship is kind of becoming the new norm, and it induces feelings of fear, anxiety, even depression. And people ignore, those signs. So I'm going to bring them up so that everybody reevaluate the type of relationship they are in. The first one is jealousy and possessiveness. When your partner is constantly jealous up to the point of becoming obsessed and being constantly angry, and also the possessiveness by not allowing you to do your regular stuff, and hiding you from other people, is another sign of toxicity. A major sign of toxicity is cheating. When your partner is cheating on you, then you have to reevaluate your work, because your self-esteem goes down. You feel constantly betrayed, and it's very hard to deal with infidelity. Chances are that if he's promising he's not going to do it, he will do it again. So it's time, as I said, if he doesn't know your work, you should know your work, and you probably deserve better. Another sign is lying. If lying becomes constant and it turns into a pattern of behavior, that is definitely a pathological disorder. And a lot of people lie constantly. And if lying is a norm in a relationship, that's completely wrong. People should not lie, because then there's no trust. Then the integrity and the honesty of a relationship is gone, and again, it's time to leave. Another one is addiction. Living with somebody who suffers from addiction is very difficult, because chances are that you tolerating us might turn into somebody you don't want to be. Addiction to alcohol, to drugs, or mental health. That's why it's so significant to pay attention if your partner has compulsive disorder personality, bipolar, and again, studying the mental health, the emotional disorder is very significant for that relationship to be changed, though it's not that easy when addiction is present. Another sign is withholding. What withholding means, if your partner is trying to manipulate, is trying to dominate you, using things like, I'm going to give you the kids if you do this. So it's like conditioning everything you're doing. That's a very unhealthy behavior. And probably another one that people don't pay attention is indifference. Indifference is a silent form of toxicity in a relationship, because your partner is disconnected. There's no more emotional intimacy, no kind of intimacy. And then, you feel after a period of time that you completely lost in that relationship, and you find yourself alone. But I forgot to mention the worst type, actually, of toxicity is violence. Yes. And violence should never be tolerated in a relationship. One episode is way too many. So if you feel like there is violence, anger in your relationship, the first advice is walk away, because you deserve better.
So for our viewers who find themselves in a toxic relationship, what is the best thing to do? Because, eventually you get to a point where you just can't fight anymore, right?
Well, the problem is that people become indifferent, and they become immune to this constant toxicity, and they don't acknowledge. But you, the only one that should acknowledge this sign and pay attention. It's like there's something in you telling you things are off. They don't work the way they should, and what is wrong. Then it's time to examine the relationship and take charge and do something to regain the balance and stability of a relationship.
Well, Dr. Harra, thank you for joining us this afternoon and giving us a little bit of insight on what we might need to do if we are in a toxic relationship. Thank you so much. Next on Bluff City Life, breaking financial boundaries. The next generation of women investors is here. See how you can get all the knowledge to let your money work for you.